If you were to ask the average Bubis americanus, many of whom you'd find parked in front of their natural habitat in front of the idiot box, being mesmerized by 24-hour-day, 7-day-a-week fake stream propaganda, what exactly is the Taliban? You'd probably get the answer, I don't know. Who funded the Taliban? I don't know. How did the Taliban come into being? How should I know? Who trained the Taliban? I don't know. Who supported the Taliban? I don't know. Where did the Taliban get their militarized weaponry? I don't know, man. I don't know. Leave me alone. I don't know. I just don't know. That right there is cause for great concern and solidifies the old adage, those who desire to be ignorant and free desire what never was and what never shall be. Hey guys, study after study shows that if you want strong bones and muscles, healthy hair, skin, teeth, and nails, you need the 5 types of collagen in your diet. I get mine from BioTrust. I've got a link in the description with a massive discount, and it'll tell you all about it.
Real quick, because I mean, there's so many people talking about Afghanistan. You got to understand the origins of the Taliban. It's completely tied with, no matter what the fact checkers say, even the fact checkers will tell you, yeah, the CIA definitely had something to do with the Taliban, but not directly. Not directly. You have to understand, guys, Taliban wasn't formed officially until 1994. In 1979, we were told that the Soviet Union sent troops to Afghanistan to protect a communist government run by the People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan. And that was basically the setup right there. Reagan was involved in this, and these Russian troops remained in the region for decades. That's what they tell us. In the early 1980s, under Zbigniew Brzezinski. Zbigniew Brzezinski's daughter, by the way, is Mika Brzezinski from MSLSD, because they always be tripping over there. And Mika Brzezinski basically said, we tell you what to think. In the context of Trump, you can't tell people what to think. That's mainstream media's job.
Who were Trump voters and are still Trump supporters. They go, yeah, you guys are going crazy. He's doing, what are you so surprised about? He's doing exactly what he said he's going to do.
Well, and I think that the dangerous, edges here are that he's trying to undermine the media, trying to make up his own facts. And it could be that while unemployment and the economy worsens, he could have undermined the messaging so much that he can actually control exactly what people think. And that is our job.
Yeah, if you look at the issues, Yamiche is right. He's doing exactly what he said. It's
right.
And truly, that is what mainstream media's job is. They're there to distract, deceive, divide, demoralize, and conquer the masses. That is what they're there for. That is what mainstream media is all about. And we have to understand this. We have to come to grips with this, because back in 1974, it was revealed by Congress, which is the opposite of progress. Believe it or not, I don't know how this works, but Senator Frank Church exposed the fact that the CIA had indeed infiltrated all print and televised programmed media.
I thought that it was a matter of real concern that planted stories intended to serve a national purpose abroad came home and were circulated here and believed here, because this would mean that the CIA could manipulate the news in the United States by channeling it through some foreign country. And we're looking at that very carefully.
I think it was entirely in order for our correspondents at that time to make use of CIA agent chiefs of station and other members of the executive staff of CIA as sources of information which were useful in their assessments of world conditions.
Would you say that continues today?
Well, I would think probably for a reporter it would continue today, but because of all of the revelations of the period of the 1970s, it seems to me that a reporter's got to be much more circumspect in doing it now, or he runs the risk of at least being looked at with considerable disfavor by the public. I think you've got to be much more careful about it.
That's why I call it CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird, lamestream, fake stream, MK Ultra Media. If you don't know what Operation Mockingbird is, if you don't know what MK Ultra is, just check it out. The CIA is completely involved in all that. These are CIA American tax cattle funded operations that literally exist. You don't have to be a go to Wikipedia, go to a top shelf authoritative source. You know, whenever you make a YouTube video and they want to put the fact checkers on it, they put on Encyclopedia Britannica or Wikipedia or whatever. Wikipedia, according to YouTube, the billionaire oligarchs over there in Silicon Valley, they say that Wikipedia is a top shelf authoritative source. So if they are, just go to Wikipedia and type in, you know, Operation Mockingbird and MK Ultra and the CIA's infiltration in mainstream media. So you got the early 80s, the CIA's Operation Cyclone. If you don't know anything about that, look up Operation Cyclone. It covertly funneled over not thousand, not million, billion dollars of stolen American tax cattle money into the coffers of the so-called anti-Soviet fighters called the Mujahideen. That's how it works. So these Russian troops are there, and Operation Cyclone under Zbigniew Brzezinski and Reagan decided, hey, you know what? We need to resist this, but we need to have kind of like a proxy war. We can't have our fighters involved in this because we haven't done anything to foment justification in the minds of the American people to be over there. So why don't we just engage in a proxy war, which means we're going to go ahead and fund people who are already on the ground over there, people who already have a hatred for the Soviet Union. And let's go ahead and just give them a ton of money that we can't afford to give them because we're completely broke over here. We're completely indebted to China. Even more so today than we were back in 1979, 1980. So we fund the anti-Soviet fighters called the Mujahideen. And in addition to those obscene amounts of money, guys, I'm sure $3 billion is not all there was. In addition to that, all these anti-Soviet fighters were given U.S.-made weapons, and the U.S. military went over there and assisted and trained the Mujahideen. In addition to this, massive amounts of wealth, weaponry, and military-industrial complex assistance, plus Britain's MI6 got involved, and they were conducting separate covert operations and supporting the Mujahideen. So you got the United States military-industrial complex and all the crazy psychopathic characters that go along with that, namely Zbigniew Brzezinski. Look at this guy. Check out what his background is. These are war criminals, guys. War criminals. And then check out the involvement of Britain's MI6, and then you kind of starts gelling into your mind what's actually going on here. But here's the thing about the CIA operation. The program heavily supported militant Islamic groups, including groups known to have jihadist ties. So it wasn't just anybody, and it's not that that's all they had to pick to fight the Soviets. That's not all they had. There were other people that were not militant or ideologically charged like that. They had a choice, but they decided to pick the militant jihadist groups. So they started fighting this Soviet-oriented Democratic Republic of Afghanistan administration since before the Soviet intervention. But the CIA chose the militant groups, not the other groups. They supported these militant groups, they funded these militant groups, and members of these groups later formed the Taliban in 1994. So you got members of these militant groups who were funded, who were trained, who were supported by the United States military starting the Taliban. Show me how the Taliban is not CIA. Show me how Al-Qaeda is not CIA, or ISIS, or ISIS-K, or whatever you want to call it. You be the judge. And a lot of people don't know that. They don't know about the involvement. And I'm telling you, most of this information you can glean from top shelf authoritative sources. They don't make any secrets about it anymore. They just tell you what their evil plans are right in front of your face. They don't care because they know that most people aren't going to rise up. Most people are too distracted, deceived, divided, demoralized, and dehumanized to do anything about it because we're basically easily conquered. And most people don't even know that. So when the CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird, lamestream, fake stream, MK Ultra Media tells you that the U.S. government went against Al-Qaeda and the Taliban, they're basically saying the government went against the U.S. government. No. This is all every bit of it's. And it's all to distract, deceive, divide, demoralize, and dehumanize and conquer us. That's what it's about. They have to do that to us. Because if we ever for a moment got together and just agreed on some fundamental principles as human beings, we could actually overthrow our oppressors. But because we're divided and because we're conquered, we don't do that. While we have time and it still retains some of its perceived value, maybe it'd be a good idea to convert your worthless fiat into valuable, storable food. Don't be the one who waits till the food riots start happening. You don't want to be fighting panicking people in the store over that last jar of peanut butter. At Prepare with High Impact Flicks, you can get up to 3 air and watertight gasket sealed ammo cans, each filled with a 4-week emergency supply. 7 food varieties, 2,000 calories a day, 284 servings, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and each meal comes in a resealable, heavy-duty 4-layered pouch. And it's got a 25-year shelf life. Every order of a 4-week supply gets you $100 off plus free shipping. Here's how simple it is to make. I'm going to cook up some Granny's home-style potato soup. People are going to think I'm a culinary hero. You open the pouch, boil 4.5 cups of water, stir the contents, simmer on low heat for 15 to 20 minutes, take it off the heat, then let it set for 2 to 3 minutes before you serve it up.
Man, this stuff's so good. People are going to think Granny stopped by and filled your kitchen with a whole bunch of love. Well, if Granny does stop by, she's going to fill your behind with a whole bunch of buckshot if you keep talking with your mouth full. Wipe your dang beard off. It's embarrassing.
So maybe convert some of your worthless fiat into valuable food while you still can. Order now and get $100 off of up to 3 4-week emergency food supplies at preparewithhighimpactflix.com. The link is in the description.